Back a lot.
I know.
You gave it to me, right? All right. How are things going with you, Jude?
They are going just fine. I'm doing a lot of setup and foundation building.
All right. I love it. I love it. Juan, give us an update. Well, how are you doing?
Doing well. We have a contract not with Ribbon, but with Homeward for a client. We're waiting to hear back. We should hear back this morning if it's a go. If it is, I will let you guys know about that experience.
Okay.
How it's going. What I did quickly learn is that Homeward is a must. They buy, then they resell back to the client.
Okay.
They don't assign. And I don't understand why, because they can assign, and they make their contracts state that they can assign, but don't know why they don't.
Okay.
More
so
dignity.
So for those of you who didn't have a chance to attend or watch the recorded version of the training last week, Juan was kind enough to give us like five or six different alternative ways to help get your buyer get their property under contract, right? Especially if they're putting the minimum down, they're competing with cash buyers and this and that and the other thing. Ribbon is one of those programs. Homeward is another program that Juan was speaking about. In addition to all the other information he gave us, Homeward is another program. So this is the first time you've had an experience with them, right?
Yeah, first time with Homeward.
Okay.
And from a response standpoint, I have to say that they're very responsive.
Oh, very cool. Okay.
I mean, extreme is like overwhelming responsive. I get as soon as they give you a dashboard to do this in. As soon as I put that information in, maybe within 10 minutes, I get a call from my agent, supposedly that assigned there.
Okay.
It goes out to the client. The client gets the link for starting their app. Then I get a call from the agent that is handling the client for the loan piece, because there's a loan portion of it. And then lastly, their main program manager is calling me for my region, for Florida region, saying that, he's any questions, whatever, he's my point of contact, just to make sure that this transaction goes smooth.
Okay.
I was like, great. Damn, that was all within an hour. And then next thing you know, we submit the contract to them for signing. And within 10 minutes, I get it back, signed, ready to go for submittal to the seller.
Okay.
And I was like, damn.
Now, is it Homeward one of the lender ones?
Yeah, they're a lender. They're a lender. And if you use them as the lender, they don't charge.
Okay. So your client had to apply with Homeward, get approved. Now, do they only do conventional or do they do FHA, VA, all that fun stuff?
They do all that kind of stuff. So depending on the type of buyer that they have.
Okay. So then your buyer applied, they got approved. And then it was time to go shopping. They found the home. They picked out the home, right? The buyers picked out the home. And then you notified Homeward, you put all the information in, and then you wrote up the offer, send it over to them. They send it back?
Yes. You write up the offer as Homeward as the buyer, cash for what my buyer wanted to pay. And 10 minutes later, I get it back from them, all signed, ready to go. I package it up, send it to the seller, and the seller was presenting it to the seller's agent was presenting it to the seller last night. So I'm hoping to hear back already this morning saying yes or what. And from that point forward, if we get accepted, clock starts, and they order a full appraisal and get it back within 10 days before that. And then my buyer decides yay or nay. And if it's a yay, done.
Okay. And
15
refresh
days
my
later,
memory.
we're done.
You have to be fully underwritten with Homeward.
No,
No?
in their case, you don't have to.
Ooh.
So
Okay.
meaning, let's say you have a buyer today and they want to make a Homeward offer.
Yeah.
They haven't done squat with Homeward.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
They can do it, and within an hour, they get back from Homeward whether they're going to be approved for the loan, and you can make that offer, but it'll take them whatever time it takes them to get fully underwritten. If they're going VA, it's definitely 30 days. If they're going FHA, it'll probably be 40, 45 days. And if conventional, it could be as quick. They can probably approve them as quickly as 20 days.
Hey, Juan,
Yeah.
this is Jude. Is there a separate contract that needs to be signed between your buyer and Homeward?
Only when the seller accepts the Homeward offer. It's kind of the process to me is not quite to what I consider clean, because what they're doing is that, and I asked them this, I said, you don't need a signed agreement from my buyer to make this offer. I said, no, all we just need to know from your client that they want to make that offer. Get it in an email, get it in a text, and you're good. Once they do accept it, though, then the client has to sign a Homeward agreement saying that they're buying the property from Homeward. And I said, what happens if they change their mind and they don't want to do it? They go, then we're going to send a cancellation of contract to the seller. I was like, that's kind of extra work, possibly for not. They go, no.
Okay, thank you.
So Juan, is this the website? This is the Homeward that you're talking about?
Correct. And then, you have to get registered with them as an agent. They put you through the 45-minute of torture videos. And then you become a Homeward certified agent.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I don't know about you guys. I'm working with a buyer right now, putting 5% to 3.5% down. They qualify for conventional or FHA. So we've tried multitude of things of, like appraisal gap of, this X amount of dollars and this and that and the other thing and blah, blah, blah. And after 16 offers, guys, guess what? They just gave up.
Yeah.
I don't blame them. I did bring up the ribbon program to them, and they consulted with their father, who of course knows nothing about real estate. and he said no, surprisingly. And I thought that was their best bet. I didn't know about Homeward at the time. Right. That's a really cool program. I don't know about y'all, but I'm definitely going to dig into this and get Homeward certified after this meeting here.
And they require 2% EMD.
Oh wow. Okay.
Okay. But the Homeward buys property cash, and if you use them as a lender, there are no fees. The only thing, like I said, I call it, kind of fuzzy thing is that they buy it and then they sell it back to the client. And the information they gave me on why there's a rental period during that time frame is because even if the client is fully underwritten, it takes about a week to 2 weeks for the county to record the new ownership transfer in order for Homeward to be able to sell that back to the client. So
it doesn't matter. Anybody going through Homeward has to have like a rental period, like a 90-day rental period?
No, they say the most is probably 30 days.
Okay. So 30-day rental period. Now,
yeah, and what they do is basically they calculate the sale price divided by 365 days times a factor of, I think it's like 0.7%, so 0.0072, something like that. They have a factor. And they come out with $1 per month, per day fee. And then they do it on a per diem basis. If it takes them 20 days, it'll be that times 20. If it takes them 21 days, that times 21, 30 days, and that times 30. And it just happened to be, and in this situation with me, about what the mortgage payment would be, principal and interest. It almost came out to about that. And in my client's case, since the closing would be in a month, they said it lands in the middle of the month. So your payment, you're going to skip a month for your mortgage payment.
Mm-hmm.
But you have that first month of a rental payment. So my clients did the numbers and they said, oh, okay, so it's like me not skipping a month, but it's not like me paying more, is what they said in their head.
Mm.
In my head, I was saying, okay, are you sure you can't just assign it?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're going to get the house a lot cheaper.
Oh yeah.
Than they would if they were trying to finance it.
Correct. And that's what I explained to my buyers. I said, look, right now we're in a situation where, and I'll throw numbers to level it out. Here you go. You're going for a $250,000 house. You're going to have to offer like 260, 275. And we know it's not going to hold up in appraisal. So you're going to give what kind of appraisal? 5 grand, 10 grand, you're thinking above appraisal. So at best, you're giving up 10 grand if it doesn't appraise to make up for it. At worst, you're paying 275 or from what you're thinking of making an offer on. That's a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Here, if you go through them, your cost is $1,800. That was a 1 month mortgage amount for her. I go, to me, I said, you have to make your decisions, but to me, I'd rather make a full list offer, cash, closing in 15 days.
Yeah. Especially if it's vacant.
And yeah, and it's vacant and they want to get rid of it. So this will be fast and it'll cost you $1,800, 1 month rent at the worst. In reality, probably not. It'll probably be a little less. And they thought about it and they said, yeah, it doesn't make any sense to try any other way, because now the seller has a full cash offer at list closing in 15 days. And in their heads, there's no appraisal, no nothing. It's $250,000 on their $250,000 house.
Okay. So if anyone's watching the screen here, I clicked on, so I'm on homeward.com. I clicked, partner with us or get Homeward certified. I don't think either one really matters.
No,
become a Homeward certified agent, register for your next webinar.
Yep. Just do that, register, go for the 45 minutes of torture and they give you a link to set up your portal, and that's where you submit your offers.
Very cool.
Yeah. I use that and I use the knock program a lot. Oh, I shouldn't say a lot, but I mean, every time I have a potential listing, or if I have a buyer that has to sell their home, I immediately bring it up.
Yeah.
I tell them, hold, stop. We don't have to rush it. We don't have to squeeze it.
Yeah. How many people would you say use the knock program with your listings?
How many people would do it?
Yeah, like out of 10.
I would say easily 8, maybe more.
Okay.
And it's funny because the only times that I have not won a listing with a knock is because the listing was out of state and one knock didn't cover that state, and another time knock did cover it, but by the time I got to the buyer, they already had an agent working on it, setting up the listing. And they just said, oh man, I wish I knew. But it's a pretty simple done deal with knock. If they have a house list, I said, okay, stop. And I'm working with one right now that I have to call after our meeting. They just get them pre-approved. It's the same thing. It's approval for a mortgage. And once they're approved for the mortgage, everything flies from that point. Now they know how much they are approved for. They know more or less how much equity they're going to make out of the house. So they know what they can shop for. And everything is just signing paper, no money out of their pocket.
Very cool.
You know?
Very cool. Thank you, Juan. Thank you.
Yep.
Everyone, if I can ask a small favor from you, either right now or a little after the meeting, if you could go to or type in HomeSmart Orlando, just Google it. You'll see we got 5 whopping reviews. Okay. If you can click on the 5 Google reviews, the link right here that I have my mouse on, and then if you could just leave an honest review. What I just noticed 2 weeks ago, this gentleman, I think it was one of our agents, was door knocking, and she has like personal information about this, that she's been told that the HOA fees are doubling. I'm going to have a conversation with her, but anyway, that the HOA fees are doubling and this and that. So he took a picture of her card, posted this on our Google My Business side, which I was like, really? So if you don't mind, if it's not too much trouble, just don't say that you're a client of a HomeSmart agent. Like, I don't want you to make stuff up, right? But just like, you work for HomeSmart, what it's like working here, right? What you like about it, what you don't like. Well, just honest review. You know, you don't have to take 30, 40 minutes, 5 minutes of your time, and that's it. Okay. If you could, if it's not too much of a hassle.
Jeremy, do you get the opportunity to respond to that review?
Unfortunately, I'm not the owner of this Google My Business. I don't know who is. I've asked, but I cannot, because only the owner of this can respond to it.
So. Jeremy, I'll ask Kevin about that too. I'm betting it's Britain, but I'll look into it for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Again, please just be 100% honest. Even if you can't give a 5-star review, I just want to dilute the 1-star review and get other agents' honest feedback, right? If you're considering joining HomeSmart, you know, you're probably going to check out the Google review and see what they say. Okay. Mm-hmm. So didn't want to make it all about that. Just wanted a little snippet.
But I believe that we do need to support each other. You know, it's I've always said there's enough business for everybody out there, and you know, support each other as a team, regardless of whether you guys are competing. I know I have HomeSmart teams in my neck of the woods. I still support them. I still help them out, etc. Because there's enough business, and we should help each other with this stuff. Yeah, so I'm definitely be putting a review. I won't make fun of you.
Too much.
Quick question. Listing contracts.
Yes, sir.
Can we send them also to you, or do we have to always send them to Freddie for signatures?
Oh no, please spread the love. I'd hate to think that Freddie has to do all of them. What I did notice the other day, somebody sent one to me, and I gladly signed it. But what I noticed is if you just leave it alone when you're trying to do it, I'm trying to think if I get a listing right now. Most of my peeps are buyers. I was in Janice almost. Let me just go to a listing agreement. Or I should just go to blank form. That would work too. Just the final signature, right? Sometimes it comes up with both names in the same space. So I'm going to show you what I mean in just 1 second. Now, can someone besides Juan tell me the right type of exclusive listing agreement I should be using? It's on the screen.
I'm keeping my
exclusive right of sale listing agreement.
Very true. But can you
comma,
tell me the letters?
yeah, comma,
ERS
And what's
dash 18TN.
Oh, not TN, because that's
Oh.
transition to.
right.
Thank
TB.
you. Thank you for being my victim. I appreciate it.
Okay.
TB, transaction broker. You are only allowed to be a transaction broker in the state of Florida with HomeSmart. So it's always TB. You're not transitioning. I've done that before, and
Yeah,
that was
by
so
mistake.
embarrassed because Freddie made me redo it. I'm like, really?
I did the same thing. Same thing. He told me to redo it. I was like, dang, okay,
Not
fine.
the only one. Okay.
No.
Yeah, I've been there, done that, but I don't want you to have to do the same. Okay, so let me show you what I was talking about. So the signature page where the broker and the agent sign it. Okay, we only need, see where it says authorized sales associate or broker. Okay, so this is the signature line right here. Just make sure it doesn't have both. Okay, because I've done it. I've received it, I should say. I've received it, and then I signed over the agent because that was the only choice, right? I had to sign it, I had to initial it, but I had to sign over them, okay? And I mean, in a perfect world, like I want to make sure that y'all are doing the paperwork properly. And I kind of wish Freddie was here so he could back me up or not. But notice it says broker / sales associate, right? And then down here, it says authorized sales associate or broker. So that says to me, you don't have to send it to me. You don't have to send it to Freddie. You just need to sign it.
I don't send mine to Freddie or you, and they get approved.
Yeah, I don't. Well, I am one of the brokers now, but before I was one of the brokers, I never sent it to the broker to sign. At any broker, I've been with Keller Williams down here. I own and operated my own down here. So I mean that doesn't really apply.
I guess in a sense it's okay because I mean corporate actually looks at it all.
Yeah. Right. So let me be the one to say I'm giving you free reign to not send it to myself or Freddie or Larry. Okay. And I will take the heat if I'm wrong and send out
not a problem. Yeah, because I know that that it could be a delay, and it's justifiably so. It isn't like Freddie just sits there and does nothing all day. He is the VP and running around like crazy.
Yeah.
So hey, Jeremy and Juan, I am just getting started, have not had my first listing yet. To what email address at corporate do I send it?
You just bring it into the RSA portal, and there is a tab there for documents. As you are entering the information into RSA, one of the steps it carries you through, it says, bring in the documentation, and you literally just drag and drop it in there. You don't even have to separate it. You know how sometimes you'll send the contract with the seller's disclosure, and then we have to get a wiring disclosure and a bunch of other stuff. And out of the Form Simplicity and or Transaction Desk, it gives you one big PDF. You don't worry about sorting that out or separating it. Once it's signed, just drag and drop it into the RSA under Documents. Corporate automatically sorts it, separates it, and puts it in. And on the listing section, when you have a listing, there's checks, a checklist that they will show you what are you missing if you're missing anything. And when you do that, then once it's all green, then they'll tell you it's green, and then you keep it there until you have a buyer. And you accepted an offer, and then you click on a button that says convert this to a sale. And it puts it in the sales folder as well.
Great, thank you.
No problem. We've all been there, done that. Trust me, I was saying, huh? What? Where? Ah? I've
If I log
doubled.
in, if I log in under Janice, see the green check mark?
Uh-huh.
That means everything's done. Nothing needs to be updated or changed or whatever the case may be. Right? If it's a red
Yeah.
check mark or red X, it means something is missing. Something needs to be done there.
Correct.
Okay.
Hey, this is Scott. And when you see that red check mark, there's usually a line there that tells you, but it's a generic line. So it may say needs signature, but you really may not need the signature they're actually referring to in that little blurb. But you have to go in to see what you're actually missing. So it's kind of like a canned response. So sometimes I get back and I'm like, wait a minute, I did send that. Well, I sent it, but you know, there's something else that's missing on there.
Correct. It hasn't been updated. Like in this one, you see the checklist on the right. It'll tell you some of the things that are missing. And if you submitted it, you know, they're human. Just a quick email. I think it's to documents@HSMove, if I remember, Jeremy?
Paperwork.
Paperwork, that's it, paperwork at HSMove. Just drop them an email, give them at least what I do, I give them that S number and the address and say, yep, no, I sent it, it's in the pile, or here's another copy of it in case you know, it's lost or didn't pass right, and they fix it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And Jude, another easy tip, because this is part of your transaction fee, so you don't need to pay anything additional for it or anything like that. Now, rentals, I think there might be an additional fee, but for sales, for sure, tc@hsmove.com is your transaction coordinator that already works for you, that you're already paying for this service, whether you use it or not. So let's say 123 Main Street, you got the listing, you got the sale paperwork. You just send it, and I, you know, do something like, dear TC, please see attached paperwork for 123 Main Street. Please create a file and upload the paperwork for me. That's it. And hit send.
That's the price of admission, folks.
And you don't need to do it yourself. It's so easy.
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
So if you're on the buy side and you simply just receive it from the listing agent, you just forward that over. I did it. I was at I mean, kind of a sad story, but it was because it was so inconvenient, the timing of it, right? I'm human just like you guys. I'm busy just like you guys. And I forget stuff if I don't get it done right away. Right? So I was at my my stepmother's funeral, and we got a contract back. And I'm like, oh, shoot. And this is generally something Janice does. And I'm like, oh, well, I've never done this before, but let me try it. I sent it over to TC@HSMove, and I said, hey, please create a file, upload the paperwork, and let me know when it's done, please. And 2 hours later or so, they emailed me back and said, yep, it's all done. And then I got an email saying it's approved. And I'm like, oh, that was super easy. Like, it was to create a file. As far as I know, I'm not too good with the app. I don't even think I have it on my phone. To create a file, you need to be in front of a computer. You know, unless I'm doing a webinar or something like that, I'm typically not in front of a computer. So that's always the struggle. Janice is typically always in front of a computer, so it's easier for her to do. But once I learned that trick, I'm like, wow, that saves at least 20, 30 minutes of your day every time you get a property on a contract. Right? So it's a cool little trick. I am surprised that people still don't know about it, but I didn't know about it when I worked for HomeSmart before. So just a cool little trick.
I think it's fairly new, and it seems like everybody that's used them has come back with some really great reviews. So thanks for bringing them up. That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, heck yeah.
There is a paid service that you can do. They will manage the transaction for you, but that's something different. That's not what we're talking about here. We're just talking for them to create a listing in the MLS. It's all of $25, right? If you want them to manage your transaction, keep up with your dates. I always emphasize this to new or busy agents, right? It's only $375. right? If you lose somebody's earnest money, I don't know about y'all, but if you lose someone's earnest money because you weren't keeping up with the dates because you were too busy, right? And look, I mean, these are all Janice's transactions right here. Got like what, 5 transactions going on right now? One listing, you know? So we got 6 transactions that we're working on right now. I have another, oh, we got another 2 under contract that we need to put in here, right? So seven pending, right? And 1 listing. So we're busy too. Like we want to use the TC, you know. It's just why not? It's $375. If I lose my client's earnest money because I miss a deadline, I miss the appraisal contingency, I miss the home inspection contingency or something like that because I'm not paying attention, I'm gonna feel like I need to pay him back that $5,000-$10,000, you know. So
Jeremy, how do you get to that TC that you did? You made a little letter. How did you do that? Do it again, please.
Oh yeah. Just in your email.
Just email.
Right?
Yeah.
So I hit compose, TC, and guess what? This is the coolest thing, right? You could also say at HomeSmart.com, just in case you're like, wait, I can't.
What was it? Right.
Right. Hopefully you remember the name of your company, but if you can't remember the name of your company, then it's HS Move. Okay.
Oh, HS Move.
HS Move or HomeSmart. It doesn't matter which one you use.
Doesn't matter. Okay.
Right.
I can remember one of them.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. And then just make sure they have the information, right? Or you're telling them what to do. Because if you just forward it to them and then it's like, chances are they'll figure it out, right? You send them a contract. Like they're like, oh, they want me to create a file, yada, yada. But if it's a team and you have a team signature like Janice and I do, here we go. So if it's a team and you have a team signature, just specify which agent you want it to be under, okay? Because I'm sure if that were you, you wouldn't want to do all that work and then realize like, ooh, shoot, now I need to redo it all under David because I put it under Faith and I didn't realize that that was wrong. So like Janice and I here have a team signature, right? Well, not really a team. It's not the Jeremy and Janice team. It's just Jeremy and Janice. So you don't really know who it's coming from. So, you know, if you have a signature like that, I would just advise that you send over and then say, please put it under Faith or Dave.
Got it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Coolio. Any other questions? This has been a great discussion. I really want to thank everyone who came and contributed and asked their questions and gave their feedback, and everyone who's gonna put a review on HomeSmart Orlando, or I mean, you know, HomeSmart Tampa only had 1 review. Nokomis had 8, which is awesome. You know, I mean, I don't want you to spend all your day doing reviews, but if you could spread the love a little bit, I know I would certainly appreciate it. Okay. Anybody else? Any other questions? This has been great.
No, I mean, the TC stuff is awesome. I'll be using that like crazy.
Good. Who else? We got chat here. Hold on. Thank you. All right. Oh, Reginald had a question earlier. I don't know if we covered this. Does Homeward sell to the buyer at the same price the buyer asked for? Yeah, right? Oh, Juan's on the phone right now, of course.
Juan responded to it.
What was that? I'm
yes,
sorry.
Juan responded, yes, they do.
Oh, Juan responded yesterday. Oh, yeah, it's right below it. Sorry. All right. Well, if there's no other questions, we're going to wrap up today's Coffee with the Broker. Tomorrow's contract training is canceled. I'm so sorry. Please don't cry. Because tomorrow we have a staff meeting. All HomeSmartians have to be on the staff meeting during our normal contract training time. So we're not going to be doing that. But Friday, anybody who lives in the Orlando area, we're going to have a lunch and learn with Consumer Title. We really, really appreciate that so very much. That Consumer Title is able to do that for us and put that on. I'm going to turn this off so you guys stop reading my emails. And that's it. Anybody else? Any other questions before I let you go?
Nope.
All right. Well, thank you again for showing up to this episode. I don't know what to call it. This session, how about that, of Coffee with the Broker. And hopefully you brought your coffee. If not, what did you accomplish today? That's what I want to know. I'm just kidding. All right. Thank you all. Have a fantastic day. Thank you. Thank you again for coming. And let me know if there's anything I, Larry, or Freddie can do for you. Thank you. Bye now.
Okay. Thank you.